administration's revenue drive is on track to deliver outstanding results.
Among many things that Shettima said in a forum in Abuja, that they have tried many policies they copied from P2B and Atiku Abubakar, and obviously these policies failed. So is he trying to blame it on everyone except themselves? This is APC blame game taken too far. We all know that they cannot implement the way P2B said he will implement, or implement the same way Atiku Abubakar said he will implement his own. During the campaigns, the candidates were unanimous that petrol subsidy must go, but the implementation is what makes the difference. Obviously, Tinubu failed woefully in the implementation of petrol subsidy removal. By the time he removed petrol subsidy, there was no Federal Executive Council, neither did he form any committee to look at the impact of the petrol subsidy removal on Nigeria's economy and to decide on countermeasures, what to use to counter the petrol subsidy impact on Nigeria's economy. He didn't do any of this, and now he's blaming the opposition, saying what would they have done differently. After all, every candidate promised to remove petrol subsidy. In other words, the message they're trying to pass to Nigerians is that whoever ended up as president after the presidential election of last year, Nigerians would have still found themselves in this kind of situation where there is serious hardship. This is a lie taken too far. This is not the first time Nigerians are seeing this kind of narrative from the APC. It's been long they've been pushing it. When people criticize their policies, they will ask them, what would P2B have done differently? What would Atiku Abubakar have done differently? Trying to make it look as if removal of petrol subsidy would have achieved the same result, irrespective of who gave the order. But that's not the truth. We all know that they can never implement like P2B. P2B said he will remove petrol subsidy, but that wouldn't be the first thing he will do like Tinubu did, because he believes there is serious fraud in the process. He questioned the quantity of fuel Nigerians consume daily as claimed by the NNPC. He believes that this figure is overinflated. He has made many comparisons in the past comparing Nigeria's daily consumption to that of Pakistan. So P2B would have done a lot of stock taking ever before removing petrol subsidy. All this Tinubu didn't do. He's just taking orders from IMF, imagine removing petrol subsidy, and a few days after, floated the naira. No merchant will ever advertise for a product he doesn't have in stock. Imagine wasting money placing ads on TV and radio only for people to call in and want to place orders for the products and you don't have them in stock. So that's exactly what is happening. He devalued naira and floated the same naira after devaluation from 461 naira to $1 at the official rate to above 1,000. In February, it was approaching 2,000 naira to $1. So this is the problem. They should own their missteps. All the advice they took from IMF that have never worked, especially in Africa. The worst part is that all the advice they give African countries, they never implement them in America or Europe. Yes, they always use Africa as a testing ground to know if something will work. But we all know they use it to hold Africans down. Look at how Nigeria's economy has been brought to its knees just under 1 year. From being the largest economy in Africa to fourth, just under 1 year. So even if APC must blame someone, they must start blaming themselves for being puppets to the IMF because they want loans and they want to be accepted in the international community. They played into their hands. They take all their advice hook, line and sinker. It never works. Look at the SAP of the 80s implemented by the IBB regime. How the policy seriously hurt Nigeria's economy. In fact, Nigeria's economy has never recovered since the SAP times. It has been on a downward spiral since then. So why will anyone take advice from any foreign financial institution, not to talk of IMF, despite the fact that they have hurt Nigeria's economy before? And they haven't stopped. The APC continues to take advice from the IMF. Remember, a few days the IMF suggested that Nigeria should increase electricity tariff. The Minister of Power increased the tariff. Yes, they never make any research to find out if the policy will work or not, if it will be applicable to Nigeria's economy. All they do is wait for them. Whatever they say, they will just say yes. They go ahead and implement it. So it's obvious the APC is working for foreign governments or foreign institutions, not Nigerians. Because all we need is a homegrown solution to Nigeria's economic problems. This brings us back to Peter Ob's ideas on solving these issues. He has always believed that despite the huge debt occasioned by borrowings under APC governments, including Tinubu of course, he believes that many things can still be solved without borrowing. How is he going to do it? By cutting the cost of governance. Shettima that is talking here, and many people are aware that this current administration is building a new home for him that costs 15 billion naira. A P2B administration will never do that. Yes, it's not a priority because Shettima already has a home where he lives. How can the government be providing a second home for him, even if the first one is temporary? Many Nigerians don't have even one home they can call their own. Many are even homeless, not to talk of living in a rental apartment. So these are the problems. This is where P2B will always make the difference. They can never beat him in his frugality. And many people are aware that P2B used to call merchants in the market to verify the price of items submitted to him to sign when he was governor of Anambra State.
This can be done. I'll cite two examples. One was when Peter was governor, there was this, we were 1 a.m. He said, okay, come and see how much I've saved today. Because when he gets a file, he will check the unit cost, take the total. Check the unit cost. If it's too high, he will call people in the market. So they realize that they will give him the correct unit cost, knowing he verifies, and then give a wrong total. He will also check that. After calculating, maybe you put about 14.7 million, he finds out it's 9.3. He will write 9.3, approved. Say, look, why don't you disincentivize this thing? Some of them can be arrested. He said, no. See, if you want to sleep and there are too many rats in your house, you know it's the fish they want. Don't use a wooden basket, use the metal thing. Once you're sure they won't take your fish, sleep.
This was how P2B saved more than $150 million in different bank accounts for Anambra people before leaving office. Imagine if his successor Obiano did the same thing. By now, Anambra State would have had more than $300 million in their savings. So the difference is clear. Let no one tell Nigerians that we would have had the same result if P2B was president. No, it would have been different. P2B wouldn't have appointed up to 48 ministers. To do what exactly? You have one minister and you have a junior minister doing the same thing. Each minister will appoint a special advisor and all other unnecessary appointments they make on top of people's money, and they say Nigeria is a poor country. Why spend the money like a rich country if you are truly poor? Even rich countries don't spend like we spend. Yes, look at the salaries of Nigerian senators and House of Rep members. They are among the highest in the world. Despite living in a poor country, politicians earn the highest salaries in the world. How is this justifiable? It will take a professor in one of Nigeria's university more than 30 years to save all his salaries without spending one penny inside in order to be able to buy one of the SUVs recently given to National Assembly members. That SUV cost 150 million naira, and the average salary of a professor in Nigeria's university is 400,000 naira. All it takes for a senator to earn that amount of money and all the legacies, cars and everything they earn in National Assembly is to just contest for election. Whether he's educated or not, they can always forge certificates and do anything. Just have some money, contest for election and be elevated, and you start earning millions and millions and millions of naira. In fact, National Assembly members can afford to employ professors as special advisors. That's why they use them to do their dirty work during elections. The professors are poor. They collect millions of naira in bribes and do whatever they want during the election, rig elections for them. Not that there is any excuse for rigging or accepting bribe, but that's the reality we have to deal with in Nigeria. In conclusion, there's nothing the current administration has done to promote good governance. They prefer to blame others. They've blamed virtually everyone blameable. They blame Buhari, they blame the opposition. In fact, right now, the central bank governor is blaming the Tinubu administration for causing inflation. Yes, this one is correct, but they are blaming the palliative, the constant purchase of food items from the market, that it contributes to the current food inflation that we have in Nigeria. So a government of blames and propaganda can hardly achieve anything because they are not there to improve the lives of Nigerians. They are there for themselves, their selfish interest, their associates, and their foreign masters who they always look up to for advice to implement at the detriment of Nigerians. Thanks for watching.